Welcome to this Yasat staff professional development clip. The aim of this clip is to help clarify our two new initiatives, lesson study and peer-to-peer observations. Schools are social institutions and are most effective when there is intentional conversations around improving practice. Since schools are about learning, the key question lies in not only knowing if students are learning, but more importantly, how well are they learning? Answering this question requires teachers and school leaders to work together, observe the evidence of teaching and unpack the data together. It is in this discussion, gained from visiting classrooms, witnessing teaching in action and the subsequent discussions afterwards, that improvement in teacher practice is seen. Now, the lesson study initiative, it's not an appraisal, it's not a report on your performance. Think of it as the drill and practice activities that you do with your students after you have introduced a new concept. They need time to practice and master that concept. Lesson study is a professional development process that Yasat teachers engage in to systematically examine their practice. Now, this is important as it nestles neatly into our school vision and ticks the boxes on a number of fronts. Besides being the central task for planning our teaching experiences and ensuring quality learning is taking place, it also supports each teacher's professional learning. We are collaborative beings working together for the betterment of our school. Collaboration is the key. 80% of what a child learns is from each other in discussions. That is also translated into the conversations that we have as teachers when we're discussing our practice. Now, lesson study is not an add-on to your daily tasks. It should be the foundation of conversations with your teams as you go about not only discussing student data, but most importantly, discussing the strategies used in the teaching process so that you can obtain your targeted outcomes that you plan for in your units of work. Now, as we gather together in our grade or our subject groups every week, we already have a ready-made platform to critique our teaching, and it's most comfortable and warm environment. Our focus is on student learning, and the lesson study approach helps us to become more focused in our gatherings. Now, this initiative is about helping you improve. There is much to learn from the wisdom of your colleagues. This initiative is about teachers helping teachers. It is through a focused study of a lesson and then observing teachers and your colleagues teaching the lessons that we are better able to improve our own practice. And it's quite simple, right? Each week you get together as a team because it's a team event, this lesson study, and whether you are in a grade team or a subject team, you have things to discuss, and that is around improvement. It is in this discussion, which you already do on a weekly basis, that sets the scene for what you are trying to achieve. Are you trying to use a particular graphic organiser? Or are you focusing on your essential questions? Is there a particular teaching strategy that your team wants to build? Is it about behaviour management? And how that encompasses its life in your lesson. Now that you've discussed and you've agreed on a focus, it needs to be introduced. And then it needs to be practiced. That's why we need observers to come in and help. Did the lesson go as planned? What could you have improved? You know the types of questions you need to ask. It's that simple. It's not about giving a mark out of 10. It's genuinely about wanting to help your colleagues improve. So, where does this notion of peer-to-peer observation fit in? And why do we need to implement peer-to-peer observations? Why can't I just go and teach? Why do I need someone to come and observe me? Well, peer observation of teaching is about observing learning as it happens. Just like a football coach watches his team play and then discusses with them some of the tactics that worked well, some things that didn't work so well, some ideas about how we can meet the challenges of the next team that we play, looking at their strengths and weaknesses and building our game plan around that. Things we need to develop and things we need to stop doing can be discussed. In this context, peer-to-peer observation supports the lesson study, but also has the added advantage of visiting other teachers in other subjects or other grades across the school. Teachers provide opportunities for their colleagues to visit their classrooms to observe what their students are doing, and then reflect, and then you meet in teams to discuss ways to enhance your teaching and learning. The peer observation of teaching is an integral part of a teacher's professional development program. Now, we are seeking to significantly increase these activities through more support, more recognition, and more opportunity. Now, as I said, these are important initiatives being built into school this year, but they are two different yet connected entities. The peer-to-peer observation helps you not only share your expertise, but look at the expertise of others in our school. You've already chosen your exemplar lessons that you're going to invite your colleagues to, or provide opportunity for your colleagues to come in and observe. They use the peer-to-peer observation form to give you feedback. And again, it's not about an appraisal on your performance. It is about having your colleagues visit your classroom, observe you in action. Then they reflect on their own practice, looking at themselves as learners, and maybe emulate some of your own practices that you've introduced. It's about teachers helping teachers. As a result of these two initiatives, I'm anticipating improvement in student attainment, raised confidence in teaching across the school, and of course an increased collegiality. We need to get through the initial jitters, and once they're ironed out, I'm expecting colleagues to praise each other, and I'm sure that you're going to broaden your own teaching repertoires. And as teachers become involved in the initiatives, I hope that you will see a number of supportive measures, including, but not limited to, what you see on the screen in front of you. And finally, it is not our aim to overburden or overwhelm teachers, but rather to support you in improving your practice. We want you to improve your capacity to be a better teacher tomorrow than you are today. Our teachers need you. They need you to help them attain their dreams. Lesson study encompasses what we should be doing as a teaching community. I mean, this is our bread and butter as educators. Writing lesson plans, developing units of work, choosing the appropriate strategies to meet the needs of these kids, stretching the children learning through the questions that we ask. You know, it is what we do that showcases to our wider community that we are experts in our trade. So that's lesson study and peer-to-peer observation and the rationale behind it all. As always, feel free to reach out if you need anything. I appreciate all that you do for Yasat and the students and our community, and I look forward to seeing you in action.